Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 2. Week 1 went pretty well. The bottom line and spoiler alert is I lost 3.8 pounds my first week. It worked really well. When I took the drug last week, I was pretty hungry and I immediately felt the hunger disappearing and almost being so full I didn't want to eat anything. That continued pretty much throughout the rest of the week. For eating, and this is partially why I think I lost so much weight, I started to feel full all the time. It was a struggle for me to get above 800 calories. I would eat somewhere around 230 calories for breakfast, something high protein. Then I would eat something simple for lunch. And I ended up getting some keto bread from Costco. I really like this bread a lot. It has a ton of fiber and a ton of protein in it. And I think it works really well. It tastes pretty good too. I mean, I don't notice anything weird about it. Makes me think it's fake, but it's really good. It's by Nature's Oven, I think. Put a little avocado mash on it that also Costco sells. It's just avocado, lemon juice, some salt and pepper. Then I put some spinach on it and I had 2 open-faced sandwiches for lunch. It took me hours to eat that. I noticed that everything was so slow when I was eating almost anything. I had a banana that I tried to eat. 4 hours. It took me about 4 hours to eat this banana. That's how long these food items take to eat and to process. I noticed too that I couldn't guzzle drinks very easily. I'm one of those people who gets a big bottle of water. I mean, you can see them right here. I got my big Yoda, and I just slug down water all day long. It was Diet Coke. I would slam my Diet Cokes. I drink them very quickly. It felt like I couldn't drink very quickly, or maybe I would throw it up. And about 8 times the first day, I almost threw up water. So it was something I could no longer do in drinking a ton of water. It made it hard for me to sip, but I did it, and so I ate slowly, I sipped slowly, but I noticed that I'd get to the end of the days and I would be sitting there at 830 calories, not knowing what else to eat. I didn't feel like eating anything. I had talked to my trainer and to a nutritionist through my medical facility, and they felt that 1,200 calories was the least amount of calories I should eat in a day. I noticed that a lot of people, when taking Mounjaro or any of the types of drugs, try to go as fast as humanly possible. And I get it. You're on this drug. It's very, very expensive. You worry your insurance might not cover it, or maybe you won't find it again. And so you try to just drop as much weight as humanly possible. But then when you read a lot of people's conversations about it, they feel tired. They're exhausted. Some people say they can't exercise because they're so tired. And sometimes their hair comes off temporarily. Sometimes they just feel weak in general. And I think a lot of that has to do with what the minimum number of calories they're taking in. I get it. I think you could stop eating on this and really be unhealthy by doing that. The whole goal of all of this is to be healthy. And if I'm not being healthy and I'm doing unhealthy things like eating too little, even though it will lead to weight loss, which is healthy, is that even beneficial? So I'm trying very hard to stick around 1,200 calories a day. Be honest with you, 1,100, 1,150, I would eat my way up there. I tried to eat. I would try to, throw in some fruit, get some things that would add to my calories. It was very difficult, I found, most of the time. But I worked really hard at it, and I got there, a lot of it. I felt good most of the days. I felt energetic. I slept less well than I normally sleep. I have one of those withing bed monitors, and it tests how much your breathing is. My breathing was fine. How many times you woke up and got out of bed throughout the night. I didn't really do that much of getting out of bed. And I noticed by the time I would go to bed, I was exhausted. I was tired. And I assume that's the drug's effect on it. But I didn't just sleep as well. I was more restless. I'm someone who has vivid dreams almost every night. I only dreamt twice last week, and both of them were just stupid dreams. Usually I have plots and mysteries and things going on in my dreams. Nothing. They were just stupid dreams. I had this bird in my dream that my friend and I went hiking looking for, and there was just a lot of them. No intrigue, no story. I don't know, it was really weird. The other thing I noticed with the drug too is that there are behaviors I have that are either addictive or OCD, I guess. I'm not a very OCD type of person. I'm very type B and very relaxed. But let me give you a couple of them. First of all, I drank Diet Coke like crazy. I had my last one when I brought it to the gym last Wednesday and I took my first shot. That was the last Diet Coke I had. I didn't think about it. I didn't care about it. I've been addicted to Diet Pop, which I'm from the UP, we say pop, but Diet Soda. I've been addicted for years. Just went away. Not even thinking about it. Started chugging jars of water, big glasses of water as I get to take them down. It was very easy to quit drinking this pop. Then came things like I check news and weather all the time just to make sure the world is okay. I stopped doing that. If I'm not recording a podcast, I am listening to podcasts day and night. I remember I was working on this project, work, and I realized, I've only listened to one podcast all day long, and it's been 4 hours since I turned it on. Is that like an addictive behavior, an OCD behavior? I just started noticing weird tweaks in that behavior. So that was kind of surprising. And I think it's all good. Then midweek, I went to Trader Joe's and started picking up better snacks, I guess, to eat. Since my snacking or eating has to be so light, I had to take little tiny meals. Trader Joe's sells this seed cracker that gets an A rating on these food rating scales. It's just a cracker. It has some, various seeds on it. And if you just felt like putting a little light margarine on it or a small piece of cheese, I just usually do light margarine for a little tiny snack. That worked well. But having Trader Joe's and being able to find some easy things to eat, including some power, like crunch bars from protein bars and stuff like that, that helped with my calories throughout the day. I didn't have problems eating anything that I normally eat. Sometimes people say that they lose taste for certain things. I haven't found anything that I used to like and now I don't like. That's pretty good. So I think I'm going to be able to eat pretty much the things I want to eat, just in smaller quantities, which is fine. But again, I am only on the first dose level, and this is only week 2. By the time I got to day 5, I felt the effects of the drug wearing off. I woke up that morning and I went downstairs and I went, Diet Coke! And I looked in the fridge, no Diet Coke. Oh, okay. So I grabbed a bottle of water, and I have these glass bottles of water and a water filtration system, and I just keep refilling those glasses up again. Grabbed a bottle of water, and I just drank, water all day. I thought about it the next day, but I didn't do anything about it, so that's good. Started noticing I was getting hungry a little bit, but just because you're hungry doesn't mean you have to eat, and doesn't mean you have to go eat a pizza or anything else like that. So I stuck to the plan I had been eating all week long. Protein in the morning, that open-faced sandwich at lunch, and then some kind of a protein fiber mix for dinner. A couple snacks in between. Worked out really well. And so I just kept at it, even though I was starting to feel a little bit more hungry than I had before. The other thing that happened that was nice is I have a consumer glucose monitor that, you punch your finger and test the blood that I used for the last 5 years to see if I could bring down my blood sugar on my own. And so now I've been testing it pretty thoroughly. My blood sugar dropped 80 points from the first day Wednesday, to like 3-4 days into it. I dropped 80 points. And it's much better than it was. And that's pretty remarkable considering how low the dose is. So overall, I'm very pleased with the entire situation. I took some measurements to see exactly, where I was at, lost some inches, mostly around my waist. It's fine, and that's good. And I'm glad to see it coming off. But we'll talk about measurements in a moment here. Today, I took dose number 2. This time, instead of my leg, I did it in my stomach, and it went much better. I didn't have any leftover droplets or anything like that. It all went in, and the effects didn't quite hit me as fast as it did the previous week. I still feel full. I still feel fine. And I'm not thinking any Diet Coke thoughts or anything like that. So I think so far week 2 is going just fine. From my understanding, it takes some weeks for this to sort of get into your blood system so that you're kind of saturated in it. And what's technically going to happen in 3 weeks is I'm going to double the dose. So I'm going to escalate a little bit. Again, my doctor is being very minimalist. That next dose level, which is 5, going from 2.5 to 5, he wants me to stay on that for as long as it's working for me. And I think it's doing well. Like I said, I even when I felt the effects of the drug wearing off, I still could manage my hunger and what I ate enough that I didn't gain weight. I still continued to lose weight, and my blood sugar continued to drop. So I feel like I'm on a good path right now. So let me talk a little bit about what I'm doing in order to measure success. That's always a really hard thing when you're trying to lose weight. Back about 13 years ago, I dropped a tremendous amount of weight with my trainer that I've been working with, and we had various measures of success. And one of the things I found was important is to have other things other than just weight, because there are some weeks where you're not going to lose weight, but it's maybe because you gained muscle. Maybe it's because you drank a lot of water and you've gained water weight, or maybe it was just a bad week. So it's important to have other types of measures in your system so that you can feel like you're still making progress. So I'm going to talk about some of the measures I'm taking right now. First of all, I got one of those scales. They're like $30 on Amazon that will measure your full composure or body amounts. I don't necessarily believe it's entirely accurate, but I believe that the delta will be accurate. So if it says I lost muscle, I tend to believe that's true. So I'm trying to see, am I losing a lot of muscle? Am I losing a lot of mostly fat? Am I losing water weight? Because usually when you start any new diet, you will lose a lot of water weight because you're not eating as many carbs. Whenever you eat carbs, water soaks in, more, or, salt if you have a lot of salt. So first of all is the scale. Second of all is tape measure. Am I just getting smaller? That will be, I think, more impressive or over time. It is hard to go from week 1 to week 2 and say, oh, the tape measure showed a lot of weight loss. I did lose about an inch around my waist, which is common. I did it the last time I lost weight too. The third measure I have is my blood sugar. Is my blood sugar coming down? Does that mean I'm getting to be a healthier person, which is the goal in the first place, is to get away from diabetes, right? The last one is my favorite actual measurement of weight loss because I find it's most satisfying in a lot of ways, but it's a good measure of it. So when I lost weight before, I took all those clothes and I packed them up by size. So these are clothes that if I lost some weight, I could fit in. If I lost more weight, I could fit in this next set. And if I lost even more weight, I could fit into this other section. And I never imagined I'm ever going to, fit into any of those clothes. They all got stored by basically size. So I went into the box of the next size down and found a pair of jeans I can't fit in. And found a t-shirt I can't fit in. And the idea is, every once in a while, try putting it on, see if it fits. And I think when I lost weight the first time, that was one of the most exciting things to me, was to have clothes I can't fit suddenly fit in. Because it's taking more than just weight. It is sort of taking shape. Am I losing shape, size? That's the exciting part for me. So I went out and I dug through my clothes and I found those tight outfits. And it's just sitting on a dresser by my bed. And so whatever morning I feel like doing it, I can try it on and see how it's going. So I think if you can find other types of measurements that make you happy, maybe it's a fitness challenge. Now, one of the things I did before, which I'd like to get back in, is I had some sort of a fitness test. And in this fitness test, what I did is there's this hike near my house that is really tough. It's about a 420-foot climb nearly straight up. And I did it when I was at my worst shape, before I started working out with a trainer, before I started exercising and all. It used to take me 90 minutes to go up this hill. I was out of breath. I could barely breathe. I have asthma. You probably heard it if you listen to my podcast or anything like that. I was just struggling the whole way up. By the time I lost all the weight those years ago, I was going up that trail, I think, 18 minutes. In 18 minutes, what took me 90 minutes, Why it took me 90 minutes is because every few minutes I would have to stop and sort of breathe and catch my breath and, rest for a moment, and then I'd keep walking up. This was, like I said, it's like a stair climb all the way up. It was tough. And so I want to get something like that, a physical challenge that I can measure, maybe not weekly, but every so often. But I highly recommend finding other measurements. Why are you losing this weight? Are you doing it so that you can be healthier? Then find something that measures how healthy you are. If you're trying to get into smaller clothes and lose that weight, get some smaller clothes. But again, I also am a numbered girl. I love numbers. Anytime you can assign a number to anything, I'm all there. And so that's why I have the scale and the tape measure too. I hope all of that helps. We're going to talk soon about creating systems. How can we create systems that succeed for us so that when maybe the drug fails or maybe we're just not feeling the effects, can our systems hold us through to keep on the right track? I see so many people that when the drug is not working for them properly, maybe they've adjusted to that dose or the dose is too small, they seem to give in. Well, I ate an entire pizza and a cake because I couldn't feel the effects of the drugs. We have to have backup systems in place, and that's what we're going to talk about next time. If you're interested in hearing more about systems, I did a podcast. It's episode 13. That was in December 2020. About how to create systems, and you can find it with my regular podcast, Start with Small Steps. That's the main podcast I'm at, and it's on this YouTube channel too. All the podcasts publishes to this YouTube channel if you want to find it. I hope that creating systems will carry us through whether we're taking this drug, we're not taking this drug, but when our oomph fizzles out, when we just do goals, our goals can fail us, but systems are harder to fail. So we're going to talk about that the next time, of how to build some systems around this drug so that it continues to provide us benefit, even maybe on days where we're not feeling so much of its benefit. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. I appreciate you watching. I hope this is informational to you. And you can always let me know what your experience is with Mounjaro and any problems that you might be having. I'm happy to talk about other types of issues. Thanks so much and have a really great week.